Okay, we're continuing with this unit review. This question 12 here I just recorded, but then I realized that you actually are using FOIL at the end for it, so we don't need to know that for tomorrow's exam. But this is a trapezoid. The formula for area of a trapezoid is we take the average of the two bases. Remember, the two bases in a trapezoid are the two parallel lines. These two are not parallel, so we don't take those ones as bases. So we add them up, base 1 and base 2. If we add them up, we get 14x plus 8y. We divide it by 2. 14x plus 8y over 2 is 7x plus 4y. Remember, we have to do each term individually. And if we multiply that by the height, then we're going to have to use FOIL. At this point here, we were many minutes into the video that I scrapped. And if we use FOIL, we use our first, outer, inner, last. I've highlighted here the two like terms. The two like terms are the ones we're allowed to add and subtract. And in the end, we end up with our expression 21x squared plus 5xy minus 4y squared. It's a good one to practice, especially as you're moving in towards Math 10C, but not a good one to think about today because your exam is tomorrow. Question 13, which expressions have positive values? This one is tricky. So negative 5 squared, anything to a power of so any base, whether it's negative or positive, to an even exponent is going to be positive. So by the time we do this part on the inside, that's positive. And positive to any power is going to remain positive, because it doesn't matter positive times positive times positive times positive. It doesn't matter how many, the answer is going to be positive. So this is definitely a positive value. Number 2, these ones here work out to be just the same as before, work out to be positive, but then we got a negative out there. So negative times positive is negative. So now we're at negative. And negative anything to the 7th power, it's an odd number. So this is going to be negative overall. Because remember, every time we have negative times negative, that's positive. But that only works in pairs of 2. In pairs of 3, that's a multiply. Negative times negative is positive, but times negative again, we're back to negative. So it keeps going, odd, even, negative, positive, negative, positive. This will have a negative result here. For number 3, or whatever 3, 5 squared, that's positive. Positive to the 7th power, still positive. The last thing to be done in this order of operations is to add that negative sign in, so this is going to be negative. And for number 4, we've got anything squared or anything to an even power is going to be positive. So far we're dealing with positive. Then we add that negative sign there, so we're at negative. Negative times positive is negative. Negative to the 7th power, still negative, just like it was up there. But now there's a negative sign on the outside, and negative times negative is going to be positive again. So this should be 1 and 4. Both have positive values. Number 14, we've got the same number written out 6 times, multiplied by itself. So that number to the power of 6, which is right here, a. For 15, which of the following expressions are polynomials? So which of the following expressions are polynomials? It can't have a negative exponent or a root or a fractional exponent. So this one counts, this one counts, this one counts, but this one's got that root in it. No good. So 1, 2, and 4, which means D. So we can't have like that, we can't have like that, we can't have an X on the bottom. None of those things count as polynomials. But if they don't have those things, that's okay. So this one's okay because the X is not on the bottom, just the 2 is on the bottom. For 16, list all the whole numbers between 63 and 101 that are perfect squares. I don't know how you've been doing with memorizing your perfect squares, but the next one after 63 is 64, because that's 8 squared. That shows up all the place there. So we know 8 squared is 64. 9 squared is 81, so 81 better be in there. 10 squared is 10 times 10, or 100. 100 better be in there. And This 72, that's 8 times 9, that's no good. This 96, that's no good. So the only one that's got all of them and no mistakes is B. Okay, there's a nice quick page. We'll keep going.